So let's turn to Caricia for an overview of Canada's ores and metal sector. Maybe you could start with a look at Canadian ores and metal exports.
Of course. So in 2024, ores and metals exports were approximately $120.6 billion, 8% over the year before. And in our categorization here, ores and metals captures minerals and metals products that go from the ores and concentrate stage, so what comes out of a mine, to the unwrought stage, so a commodity in its raw or unworked state that hasn't been processed beyond smelting or refining stage, to semi-fabricated and fabricated products. So from ores and metals exports, we see unwrought gold, silver, platinum group metals and their alloys taking approx 1/3 of the total. And this category mainly consisted of gold. And there was significant growth in 2024 for this category. In fact, it went up 39% in 2024, year over year. And a lot of that was driven by the spike in the gold price in 2024. And the gold price had gone up by 23% that year compared to 2023. And so with heightened trade tensions and market volatility expected to continue this year, demand for gold as a safe haven asset will continue to bring up that gold price and likely provide an uplift to Canadian ores and metals exports this year, given that gold's amongst Canada's most valuable commodities. Now, I'd like to highlight from the numbers as well, what are some of the top critical minerals products that have seen significant amount in exports. So unwrought aluminum and its alloys took up approx 9% of ores and metals exports, and aluminum is a cross-cutting metal in low carbon technologies. Next, we have iron ores and concentrates, which took up 7% of our exports. And assuming iron ore is of high purity, this is possible feedstock for green steel making. Then we have copper, well, specifically copper ores and concentrates and unwrought copper and alloys. So the ores and concentrates took up 4% and the unwrought copper took up 2%. So 6% of our exports were allocated to those two copper products. Copper is a key input in EVs, electric vehicles, energy storage systems, and renewables. Next, we have unwrought nickel and its alloys. So this took up 3% of exports. And nickel is also potential input in EV and in energy storage system batteries. And I also want to highlight a significant growth category we saw in 2024 was copper, not surprisingly. So copper ores and concentrates went up 20% in 2024 compared to the year before. And then unwrought copper and its alloys went up 13% in 2024.